So one of the things that you're going to be asked to do in this section is to rewrite equations in a certain way. And one of the ways they ask you to do that is to write it as written on the screen here. Y is a function of x. And so what they're saying is they want, because it's a function of x, they want your equation to have x doing the math. So you know when it says y equals 3x plus 4, when x is surrounded by the numbers, that means x is doing the math. X is involved with the math. And then what you're going to do is after you do that math, you're going to get your y value. Now, if you remember, words that mean things, is often used to represent equals because we're saying it is the same equality. And so when I look at this sentence up here, here's how I read it. Y is, an equal sign instead of is, a function of a bunch of math of x. So there's a bunch of math with x. And so when I see that, I know that what they want me to do is get y by itself. I want it to say y equals. If we have a problem like 3x plus y equals 4, and they say write it so that y is a function of x, then I know that I want to get y by itself. I want it to say y equals. And so then I look at this and I say, well, I have to move this 3x over. This 3x is in the way. And basically, I know every time we've seen 3 and an x next to each other, we're like, ooh, we got to get rid of 3 divided by 3. But that's not what we're doing. What we're doing is we've got these x's here that we want to move to the other side. Those x's are being added to the y. And they're also a positive, so because there's no negative in front. So what I'm going to do to move it over and keep this balanced is instead of adding, I'm going to do the inverse. I'm going to subtract 3x on both sides. Again, I'm not trying to split the 3 and the x up. I'm trying to take all of it together. And so then these 0 pair out. I just have a y on this side equals. And then over here, don't be confused about the fact that they're not like terms, right? The 4 does not have an x, the 3 does. And since they're not like terms, we just write what we have. We have the 4 take away 3x. That's what we have, and that's what our equation is going to look like. Okay, now that's if it says y is a function of x. It could go the other way and say that x is a function of y. So x is a function of y. So that's saying x is a function of y. So I want to get x by itself. So let's say I had something like 2x minus y equals 9, and I want to get x by itself. The first thing I want to do is get rid of any green guys, or the things that are not attached with the x, and you'll see here that I have this minus y. So to keep this balanced, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the y. It says it's a minus y, so to get rid of it, I'm going to add y to both sides. And so then the y's cancel, so then I just have 2x equals, and once again, I don't have like terms on the other side, so I'm going to go ahead and write what I have. I have 9 plus y. Then I still need to get x by itself, and I still have a 2 there, so to get rid of the 2, I'll divide by 2. But then I have to divide this whole side by 2, not just the 9, the whole thing needs to be divided by 2. We get a 1 there, so x equals the 9 plus y all over 2.